I ran into this book listening to a podcast from actually where Dr. Tara Swart was the guest. And then she talked about the source and the get. Obviously, I forgot whose podcast it was. But anyway, that got me really interested because she combines spirituality with science, actual brain science, because she's a neuroscientist. Uh, you know, the podcast said number one neuroscientist, but who the heck knows who's the number one neuroscientist? Everybody's the number one neuroscientist. But she's also a coach, apart from being a psychologist and a neuroscientist, and heavy spirituality. The biggest thing is, several things. I'm still working on things because one of my goals always is try to implement at least one thing within whatever book I read, because one of the things I've learned is if you don't implement anything from the book, or at least try, have an attempt to do something, then it's pointless reading books, right? You don't gain anything by reading books unless you're implementing things or practicing some things, right? So anyway, my biggest takeaway from this book is the action board, sort of dream board. So we all have vision board, dream board, whatever, right? That's the difference she makes, where she says, if you have abstract things that represent where you want to go, your subconscious and your brain starts recording it and propels it. The actual science of it is whatever you look for, your brain looks for, you're aware of, or your brain is aware of, that's what will manifest, because you start looking, you open your eyes for that, and then you stumble across that, because there's always opportunities everywhere, anytime, maybe not this moment, but if you look hard enough, there's always options to whatever you want. And that's her whole point, is it's not that mystical, it's not exactly mystical spiritual thing that manifestation is. It's actually brain. You're training the brain to look for those opportunities and then propel yourself. And the other factor is she gets into meditation. Why? That helps immensely in your manifestation, achieving your goals, balancing, your brain, your subconscious, all that stuff, even when you're visualizing, how do you visualize with meditation or that focus, right? She talks about health and so many things. But bottom line, if you're not much of a believer of, okay, hey, I don't care about this woo-woo stuff, spirituality, manifestation, then read this book. Because it'll show you scientifically the brain, the biology, how that manifestation actually works. Which kind of like, I didn't think about that before, but that's what basically the book opened to me, my eyes to, or my brain to, really, not eyes. Eyes see whatever they see, but the brain opened up that possibility of being able to program your brain to achieve things, thereby you achieve things. Not really like a manifestation, but really your brain is now open to the possibility, and then whatever your mind or a brain is open to, that's what happens. It's a simple factor. There's no mystery to it. Timing wise, it'll happen quick, late, slow, whatever. But without you being open to it, possibility, strong inclination to that possibility, we'll never achieve anything. That's how our brains work, because we'll avoid, if you're afraid of something, then we'll avoid it and the brain will block it, right? Because automatically that's how the brain works. Anyway, I can go on and on. Ultimately, I would say amazing book, practical book. I would say one should actually do at least one or two exercises. Personally, I'm going to do, there's about 3 things I plan to do. One is the, action board. Then there is some exercises about rewording your things, rewording your intentions and thought process to propel them into more positive, action-oriented or vision-oriented, wording. I don't exactly remember without looking into the book what those were, but that's what I intend to do. Anyway, highly, highly recommend this book.